Greetings. My name is Noma Tsinochkiwe, and welcome to the second part of our video series on spirit animals. We did talk earlier in the first video about the big cats and also the mystical creatures. So among them we talked about the lion, we talked about dragons and the phoenix. And I am using the cards from this oracle deck called Spirit Animal Wisdom. This is a brand new deck that I will be giving away because I happened to get an extra one, and I will share details on how you can win this deck. So I did share in the earlier video about our animal guardian, and this is the angel of nature who works with animals, and there's a very close link between nature, animals, and spirituality. The animal kingdom has a lot of lessons to teach us about life. So I do encourage you to watch the first video so that you can get an idea of what we're talking about and why we're talking about it. So animal wisdom, or animal medicine, as the Native Americans call it, isn't just for those who are spiritually gifted or have a calling. Anyone can benefit from the lessons of the natural world. And sometimes it just helps to sit out in nature and just watch the various creatures go about their business. Some creatures, obviously, you want to look at from a distance, because they are animals and they can be unpredictable and dangerous, and unless you fully understand their behavior, you don't want to necessarily expose yourself. But spirit animals, animal totems, animal guides come to us in various guises. You may have a spirit animal appear to you in an oracle reading, just like using the cards that I have here. If you want to book a personal reading, my details are in the description box below. You can reach out via WhatsApp and we can organize for the reading. If you want one specifically with this deck, you're free to request it. What I generally do with my readings is when we tap into the energies, I then get guidance on which deck to use, and so far we haven't gone wrong. But if you do want a reading specifically with this deck, I can do one for you. So the deck comes with a guidebook. I'll be reading from the guidebook as well as adding a few details, based on my own knowledge. And we will really just start with the animals that we commonly see in Africa. I'm going to start with the elephant, powerful spirit animal. Elephants are in Africa as well as in Asia, particularly in India, where they're tamed and people ride them. The elephant is the totem, of certain clans within Africa. You have the Nguni clans that use the surname Lovo, meaning elephant. But remember that your spirit guides can be from your mother's side or your father's side. You may be assigned a guide that carried that totem and may then appear in your dreams or your visions as an elephant, and that could be from your mother's side or from your father's side. You may have someone way back in your lineage, lost to living memory, who will appear as an elephant. That is, quite common. You may dream of riding an elephant, being among elephants, seeing elephants. You may have images of elephants popping up on your timeline. You may, see, documentaries or films with elephants. But the moment you see an animal and it arouses something in you, some kind of interest, feeling of kinship, belonging, or you just feel it has a message, just lean into that. Google it in terms of what it means as a spirit animal. find out more about it, and you'll find that there are lessons that animal actually has for you. So the meaning of the elephant as a guide is a call for you to be grounded. So it's about grounding. The element is earth. And the meaning that the card carries says, ground your energies and emotions deep into the earth. It says, do not let anyone shake your course or move you from your path. We all experience knockbacks. Take them on the chin, as they will make you stronger, like the elephant, who is a grounding force. Have the strength to believe in yourself. You know what is right. Weather the storm and it will die down. Trust in yourself and stay strong of heart. The elephant comes to help you to connect deep into the earth. You've got this. Take 3 deep breaths into your heart. Circulate link loving light through it, drawing it through your breath, and tap on your heart 3 times and say, I've got this. The crystal companions, and we spoke about these in the earlier videos. These are crystals and gemstones that carry the healing qualities that are associated with the energy of that particular animal. We have aragonite, green calcite, and rhodonite. So the elephant is a very strong creature. Strong is an understatement. It's an immovable force. And there's that saying about the elephant in the room, which is like such an issue that is so large that people want to either pretend doesn't exist or move around it, because no one can just move an elephant unless it's willing to move. So if you're getting the messages or seeing images of elephants, or you're dreaming of elephant prints, animal prints with an elephant, it's a call for you to be grounded, which is also very important if you have a spiritual gift or a healing gift, or you have a spiritual calling. Grounding is very important so that you anchor yourself in terms of, earth energy, being realistic, understanding what it is you need to do, and then you're not moved by the energies that come and go in your life, particularly negative energies which can sway you from your path. So the major lesson of the elephant as a spirit animal is for you to be grounded and to really understand what you're here to do, and not allow anything or anyone to move you from your course. The next animal we are going to talk about, also quite a common or popular totem among African peoples. It goes by various names depending on the language that you speak, but this is the monkey, the vervet monkey. There's also the Samango monkey. So you'll find there are people from Zimbabwe that carry the totem of Tsoko or Soko. Their totem animal is the monkey. There are people from Mozambique that carry the totem Simango or Simango, which is the Samango monkey. Then there is among the Nguni, there are people that carry the surname Ngube, which is linked to the monkey or the baboon. So these are all, related. The monkey, the major message of the monkey is that about your inner child, allowing you to play. I believe monkeys are the most playful animals in the wild. They just spend their days swinging through trees, eating, playing, not taking life too seriously. If you've read the Jungle Books, or watch the movie, the monkeys are the ones that kidnap Mowgli, and they literally swing through the trees, throwing him at each other from tree to tree until they take him to their king, who is a giant orangutan. But the monkey speaks of the inner child. And our inner child is that part of us that never grows up. So your inner child is the childlike, innocent, pure part of your soul. Your inner child may have been injured by trauma, may have been impacted by past events. So sometimes the inner child requires healing, because certain symptoms are presented when you have a wounded inner child, like all kinds of wounds like rejection, abandonment, and trauma. But just back to the card, the elements of the monkey are air and earth, because the monkey can swing and jump from tree to tree through the air, as well as come down to earth when it needs to. And the meaning is, don't take life too seriously. So when the monkey appears as a guide, either through an oracle reading, or you dream about monkeys, or images of monkeys just pop up and present themselves, or when you see an image of a monkey or a sculpture or something in you just kind of, is aroused, then it means you need to think about life and not take your life too seriously. In fact, don't overthink things. The monkey is all about playfulness. With his mischievous and inquisitive nature, he signals the need to have more fun. Call on him to bring you a boost of energy to any of your chakra centers. This is a gentle reminder to be more cheerful and light-hearted in your approach to anything. The monkey asks you to talk to your inner child. Maybe you'd have some focused healing to do there, or perhaps you just need to acknowledge that side of you and embrace it more at the moment. See the humor in situations, laugh a little more. Laughter is healing. And perhaps it's time to take life a little less seriously. Crystal companions are crazy lace agate. Agate is a powerful protective stone. We spoke about the gemstones earlier. This deck does carry messages with recommended gemstones to use, carry, or wear if a particular spirit animal comes up in your reading. So agate is a powerful protective stone or gemstone, semi-precious. There's amethyst, which is purple in color, fairly common. It's from the quartz family, a very good and protective stone as well, which speaks to the energy of moderation and also not taking life too seriously. Then we also have tiger's eye, which I spoke to earlier, because tiger's eye is also associated with some of the animals of the big cat family as a stone that you can wear and use. But that is where we will leave the story of the monkey. The next animal that we are going to talk about is the antelope. Just looking for the page here in the guidebook. So we have all kinds of antelopes in Africa. You have the kudu. This looks like a kudu if we look at the horns. You have different kinds of buck, James buck, bless buck, water buck. You have the sable, which has horns that curve backwards. You have the eland, which is a form of antelope, although a little bit more robust. You have the impala, which is known for, leaping and jumping. You also have the very small ones like the klipspringer and the springbuck. They're all different species of antelope, very common in the savanna grasslands across Africa. And the message of the antelope is about new pathways. So antelope are always on the move, looking for grassland, looking for water. They don't stay in one place. And the elements of the antelope are earth and fire. And the meaning of the antelope says, consider whether you are happy on your current path. It is time to slow down and take stock of where you are heading on this journey. Does it feel right? Listen to your instincts and ask yourself whether it is serving your purpose. There is no right or wrong path. At any one time, we have many options available to us, many doors to open and pathways to journey down. I often find many of them overlap and ultimately get us to where we need to be, but some routes just feel faster. When we surrender and trust our inner compass, things become crystal clear. If you feel you have hit a wall or your life is not flowing at this time, the antelope has come to help you. This card comes with hard questions and also a promise of new opportunities if you open all of your senses. Ask for signs and they will come to you. So oracle cards, tarot cards, all of that guidance, that meditation, all works with signs and synchronicities, and you'll know them when they appear to you. Or some people just coming across this video on their timeline without consciously looking for it is also a sign and a synchronicity. So the crystal companions of the antelope are the chrysanthemum stone, I haven't seen one, the Herkimer diamond, and any kind of stalactite crystals. So the antelope, comes up as a messenger to say, are you happy with where you are? What is it you need to change? Is it time to move on to greener pastures? And for the antelope, the grass is always greener on the other side. I know the popular saying is that the grass isn't always green, but the antelope is always looking for fresh pasture, fresh grass, a change of scenery, because they need to keep moving. Otherwise, if they stay in one place, they become um, targets for predators. So the herd keeps moving as a mechanism to keep safe. So sometimes that's what you need to do. If you feel that you're unsafe in your particular situation, it's probably time to consider a move, again, for you to find that safety and security that you're looking for. The antelope is a herd animal. So again, the message for me of the antelope is to stay with the herd, stay with the crowd, find yourself a crew that you relate to and stick with them. The antelope is not a solitary animal. In fact, when antelope are alone or isolated or they're lost, they actually become a target for predators. So there's always safety in the herd. That's why they move in large herds most of the time. As an interesting tidbit, there are healers that have the antelope as a totem animal, or their spirit guides present as antelopes, or they have hunters in their lineage. And a message that I received from my own guides some time ago is that antelope bones can be used as protective amulets. I guess it's because of that energy of constant movement, staying in the herd, staying together. There's certain messages and energies that are in our DNA, and those are also in animal bones. That's why you find a lot of healers use animal bones of different kinds for divination, for protection as amulets. So antelope bones, though not common, are apparently, particularly powerful amulets that are used by certain healers and possibly practitioners of witchcraft as well. But that's just, I thought, an interesting little tidbit I would share. That is not knowledge that is just out there, or not particularly common. The next animal we're going to talk about is the giraffe. Just looking for it in the guidebook. So the giraffe isn't a popular totem, but it is an animal that can appear in your dreams. It has a particular message, and I think I'm just moving too fast, that's why I can't see it. So I found it now. This is a picture of a giraffe. They're very gentle, friendly animals. There are very few natural predators. They can see things from afar because they're very tall. And the message of the giraffe is for you to see the bigger picture. So the elements are air and earth, because its head is, up high up in the air. Meanwhile, it is, standing on the ground, so it's also grounded. And the meaning of the card says, take a step back and gather your thoughts and feelings. The giraffe comes to you at this time to help you gather your thoughts and take perspective. With her height, she sees the world through a different lens. She is close to the heavens and the divine and reminds you to converse with your guides. The giraffe brings foresight and helps you to connect to your third eye. She can summon any clairvoyant gifts you have lying dormant and shows you how she wishes you to use these hidden gifts. She will teach you not to give too much weight to future or past visions and encourage you to live in the now. Let the giraffe tap into your third eye to strengthen it. Trust that she can improve your connection to the divine. Rooted in the earth with her head in the heavens, the giraffe's healing message is balance. Work on your root and higher chakras equally to create the inner balance needed for deeper insights. And the message of balance is the same message of the Temperance card from the major arcana in tarot. In a later video, we will discuss tarot, just so that you understand the meanings, because there are many different meanings to each card, and you have to take the meaning that resonates with your particular situation. And her crystal companions are the agates, again, many different kinds of agates. It's a powerful protective stone. And labradorite. Labradorite is associated with higher wisdom, spiritual endeavors. It's an interesting stone. It's got an iridescent appearance, a little bit like a peacock. You know, peacock's bright feathers. So if you turn it, the light changes the color from blue to green, a bit of gold, some black. You know, color comes in flashes. Very interesting stone. It is also associated with the sign of Pisces. Pisces is associated with the planet Jupiter, the planet of abundance and wisdom. Pisces is associated with the unconscious realm because the fish obviously live in the sea, and the sea is also quite linked closely to the moon. So you'll find that the giraffe blends the energies of the material and the spiritual, which is the message of balance that comes with the Temperance card, which talks about moderation. You know, take a bit of this, a bit of that. Don't take things in extremes, and, you know, focus on the now. So very interesting links there with tarot and astrology that are not, you know, readily obvious. Then the next animal we're going to talk about is the dog, the domestic dog. And I emphasize domestic because it's in African spiritual tradition. If you dream of a dog, it's a sign of the presence of your ancestors. This is the picture of the dog. He is quite cute. He looks more like a terrier, Scottish terrier or something like that, small dog. But I mean, dogs come in all shapes and sizes. In African spiritual tradition, if you dream of a dog chasing you, it's a sign that your ancestors are not happy with you, or they want your attention, or they need you to do something, because the dog is associated with the hearth and home. So it's about issues that are close to home. The element is earth. The dog speaks of divine service. A lot of people that have hunters in their bloodline, hunters often, you know, move with dogs. They help them to locate the prey, chase the prey, and you know, so they can bring it home. And the dog is about divine service, and the meaning that the card carries is, how can you serve yourself better? Dogs bring unconditional love. They teach us how to strengthen bonds, open up and receive love. They are deeply clairsentient beings, feeling when they are needed. They come to you to help heal certain aspects of your heart. This is their service. And I've had personal experience of this. I went to church one evening for choir practice. I was feeling particularly down because I'd had a tough day at work. And one of our band members always traveled with her little dog. And the dog just came and she laid her head on my lap. And, you know, it was just a profound experience for me. When we started practice, you know, kind of 10-15 minutes later, she got up from my lap and I felt a lot better. So if you're clairsentient, you'll understand what I mean. It means clear feeling. You can feel the feelings of others, and you also have the ability to reach out to them and make them feel better, sometimes without saying a word. And that's exactly what this dog did for me. The dog asks you, how can you be of service to yourself and others? This could be with words of support, a helping hand, a smile, or a hug. Reach out to someone with love, and that love is sent back to you tenfold. It is important that we give and receive love to know what it feels like and to expand and open our hearts in new ways. The dog is loyal, loving, reliable, and selfless. Qualities he wishes you to be more conscious of, mirroring every day. Radiate unconditional love to all creatures and people we share this earth with, and our planet will ascend to a unity heart much faster. Crystal companions is thulite, polychrome, jasper, and amethyst. So that is the story of the dog as a spirit animal. The next animal we're going to speak about is the wolf. Some people relate very well to the wolf. You know, you may be called, other people may call you a lone wolf. There's also the unpleasant association of a wolf in sheep's clothing. I think the wolf just gets a really bad rap. The wolf in sheep's clothing refers to somebody who is pretending to be gentle and soft when in actual fact they are savage and wild at heart. I don't believe the wolf is savage and wild without reason. That is its nature. It is a wild animal. It has an instinct to survive. One of the animals with the strongest survival instincts is the wolf. Wolves hunt in packs. Again, if you've read the Jungle books, very interesting stories of how animals relate. And there's a lot of animal wisdom in the Jungle books if you actually take time to read them. And the pack of the wolf is the one that actually shelters Mowgli. There are stories, real human stories, of people raised by wolves. So for some strange reason, in certain situations, wolves have an affinity to humans, particularly babies, they understand that they're defenseless. So they will take them and raise them with their own cubs like their own. So the wolf's message is that of heart medicine. Its elements are earth and air. And the meaning of the wolf says, let go of that which does not serve your highest good. The wolf brings medicine for the heart. He is a vital source of core strengthening power and brings the sensitivity to discern which issues of the heart are yours and which you hold for others. Ask him to help you release from your heart that which does not serve you, and let him take those worries away. Native Americans worked with wolves as totem animals. They were their allies in venturing through the spirit realms, gatekeepers, guiding and protecting them while their soul journeyed. If you call a wolf into your meditation, he will always go ahead and make sure that the path you are walking is of a high frequency and that you have safe passage through the realms you visit. He is a noble protector. So if you have spirit guides that bring shamanic gifts, if you have spirit guides that are shapeshifters, that have brought or given those gifts to you into this life, I'm just going to pull the cards from this other deck. So I didn't show it earlier, but I used the other deck in the first video when we talked about the animal guardian. And I just want to pull out the cards that relate to the shapeshifter, because the shapeshifters in Native American spirituality often would transform into a wolf. As you said, it was a key guardian as they walked through the spiritual realm. The wolf has, like the bear, the wolf has very few natural enemies. When wolves die, they just die. Maybe their bodies are eaten by scavengers, but because they hunt in packs, they have the safety of the crowd, but at the same time, they are not timid or meek. They're very strong, very brave, and carry strong instincts of self-preservation and survival. So interestingly, this deck carries quite a few cards that speak about the wisdom of the wolf. I see there's quite a lot of relationships between the animals in this deck that I'm showing, the spirit animal deck, as well as, sorry, one card just fell on the floor, um, as well as the one of the ancestors and angels. So I might actually do another video talking about the ancestors and angels. It's taking me a little bit of time to get to the shaman. But the shamans are related to the shapeshifters, and they use the energy of the wolf. So you may find that if the wolf appears in your dreams, you most likely have shamanic healing gifts or ancestors who are shamans, and they have brought their wisdom and given it to you in this life for you to use. But I might actually feature this deck in another video, and I have done a couple of very interesting readings about spiritual gifts using this angels and ancestors deck, because sometimes people are not sure about the spiritual gifts that they carry, and this deck is very good at bringing up images that they can relate to. So I have 4 cards here that speak to the wolf. So you may have Native American ancestry from way back. This is the shaman. You may have, and the Native American spirituality is not very different from African spirituality in terms of the shamanic tradition. Credo Mutwa actually was surprised when he went to America to discover that the people were just like us. This card is called Winter. I will read from the guidebook just so that you get the links. I just feel it's a good way of really connecting the stories. So I'll start with the shapeshifter, because you'll see on the card of the shapeshifter. I will raise the card again so you can see. You can see there's actually a wolf in that picture. And the message of the shapeshifter says, transform and unveil your gifts. So if you dream of the wolf, it's quite possible that there are shapeshifters in your lineage, or you have that energy and it has been passed on to you. In the shamanic traditions, a shapeshifter is either an animal that has the capacity to change between species, or a shaman who has the capacity to transform into an animal to go journeying. So this is really about astral travel and dream walking and traveling between dimensions. If there is a wild animal that you are particularly drawn to or fascinated by, it's probably because you can transform into one in your meditation or journeying practice to go exploring in the other worlds. When you shift into animal form, you can see the world through different eyes and tap into the animal's survival skills to help yourself through a particular situation. So again, if you're interested in a reading to explore your spiritual gifts, you please just check my details in the description box below and reach out, and we can help give you an idea of who you were in your past life, what energies you carry into this life, and what you are supposed to grow towards, which kind of links into, from an astrology point of view, your south node, which is your past self, and the north node, which is the self you need to grow into in this incarnation. The other card that is here that features the wolf is called Winter. And I think most associations of, when you see a lot of movies about the wolf, you really see the wolf around in summer. So this is Winter. The message of this card says, take care of your needs. Do everything you need to be at your best. Then move beyond your fears and limitations. One of the key attributes of the wolf is its fearlessness. That's why it has very few natural enemies in the wild. For many of the animal realm, winter is a time of hibernation and retreat. You may wish to curl up in a ball too, but although you may not feel as bright as you'd like to be, a primal force within is encouraging you to continue. The winter card features a wolf, one of few animals that stay active all year round. Wolves know what it's like to work alone or thrive within a pack. So if you feel the need to go it alone at this time, know that wolf medicine will help you to go move beyond your insecurities and relax in your own space. I particularly like the quote from the Jungle Book, which talks about the wolf. It says, the strength is the pack of the wolf. The strength of the pack is the wolf, and the wolf is the strength of the pack. So it talks about synergy, working together, and cooperation, which is really how wolves live. They're not solitary animals, although sometimes they can be, like in winter, um, in this particular case, but often they are pack animals, very social, pretty much like lions. The other is the she-wolf. The she-wolf is very special in my view. There is an iconic work about women and empowering women and spirituality by a lady called Clarissa Pinkola Estes. And she talks about um, unleashing the wolf and the lessons of the wolf, and talks about women and how they can learn lessons from archetypes and different areas of spirituality to just become stronger and more powerful. The name of the book is Women Who Run with Wolves. So I think she was, maybe channeling is a strong word, but she was really using those lessons from the wolf um, to teach women how to step into their power. So this is the she-wolf. Also, if you read the Jungle Books, the she-wolf is Mother Wolf, who takes in Mowgli and raises him among her cubs. And when Shere Khan comes to try and kill Mowgli, she scares him away. She insults him and tells him where to get off. Um, her name before she became Mother Wolf was Raksha, the demon, which I find particularly powerful. So the she-wolf talks about unleashing the wild within. So again, reference to Clarissa Pinkola Estes' book, Women Who Run with Wolves. Let your wild side up and out. Unleash your talents and desires. The she-wolf is a powerful shamanic soul who is half wolf and half woman. She is the alpha female who is not afraid to stand out from the crowd, or in this case, pack. She is wild, unfiltered, and unfettered. She encourages you not to be trapped by the limiting factors of weaker members of the pack, or those who are trying to hunt you down because you have gifts they don't like or understand. Excuse me. She represents the energy of the wildness and the unknown. She encourages you to be free and unchained and go beyond boundaries. Release the animal energy within and track down what you need to express your true self. So a lot of spiritually gifted people are attacked in many different ways because they're different, they don't conform. Everyone wants them to be like them, be like us, don't stand out, don't be a tall poppy, as the Australians would say. So the she-wolf carries some powerful lessons about being able to stand up for yourself and not, conforming to what the crowd wants. And I like that because it reminds me of a verse in Romans, the book of Romans, which says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So the message of the she-wolf is to be you and track down your desires and not be forced into conformity. And the last card is the shaman. The shaman's message is to trust in higher forces. And it says, trust in your angels, guides, and ancestors. If you have given your power away, claim it back. on the inner planes of all of the shamans of times gone by are helping the human race understand the complexities of life and needs of Mother Earth. Many are working as spiritual guides to light workers and light warriors. The shaman card brings the energy of your shaman guides to you. Shamans believed that when there was illness or disease, it was because a person's power had been left behind somewhere, or a negative pattern had installed itself in them. In a trance, they would travel to the underworld to recall this power and remove this demon. If this card comes to you, it's because you need to do some release work with lower energies, or with your lack of trust in the spiritual energies that are guiding you. The shaman will aid you in your quest. So a lot of us who are raised as Christians struggle with our spiritual gifts, struggle to trust the angels and the ancestors that guide us. So you'll find among them there will be a shaman who helps you to channel that energy of spirit so that you can help other people by helping them break negative patterns. And I speak about breaking negative patterns in my podcast, The Spiritual Gladiator. That's on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts. There's a couple of episodes there where we talk about breaking negative patterns. It also interestingly speaks about traveling to the underworld. So people travel, either astral travel in their dreams or when they're in a trance, to do the spiritual work to help release people from whatever is binding them, or to help bring back the energy. So shamans can travel in the spirit to the dimension where, if somebody is working witchcraft against you and they have taken your energy, stolen your blessings, switched out your blessings, a shaman has the gift to travel and recover them for you. Either when they do the astral travel, the dream walking, or the journeying. So you may actually dream of somebody that you don't know who happens to be a healer. And that is because they have the energy or the gift or the shamanic gift. They have the energy and gift of a shaman, and they've been sent by their spirit guides working with your spirit guides and ancestors and guardian angels to help you to recover what is yours. So I'm just going to leave it there. But yes, all of this is associated with the wolf as a spirit animal. And as I said, the Native American spiritual tradition, shamanic tradition, is not very different from our own as Africans. So that we do carry the same energetic signature, which points to our common origin as human beings. I have been doing a lot of talking. My throat is getting a little dry. I'm just going to have some water. So the next animal I want to talk about, I'm just going to check my time. I don't want us to spend, too long, but I did think the chapter of the wolf was quite important. Another important animal is the eagle. The eagle also features in this deck as well. I'm not going to look for it. I think I'll do a separate video on this deck because there is a lot. There really is a lot. But this is the eagle. And the eagle is about ancestral healing. I'm just going to see if I can flip to the page quickly. So the eagle does appear as a spirit animal to people of certain clans that have healing gifts. You have the eagle print. That is it's not common, and not a lot of healers actually have the eagle as a totem or spirit animal, but they are powerful. So the eagle is about ancestral healing. I know two healers. One is a good friend of mine, another one is a very popular healer who actually have, I know of two actually, that actually wear the eagle print because they have the eagle as among their totems or spirit guides. or their ancestors represent as eagles. And it carries the elements of air and earth. And the meaning is that your ancestors are holding space for you to heal your past. So a lot of people who are spiritually gifted encounter or endure a lot of trauma. Part of that is to help break down the ego so that they can be effective healers. But if they go into their spiritual training without healing that trauma, they can become toxic. A person who teaches extensively on this is Gogo Dineo Ndlanzi. I also count her among my mentors. I do follow her and I, watch a lot of her videos. She has a lot to teach. She also has the eagle as a totem. The eagle is a protector flying through the sky, watching over you as you meditate and journey to meet with your guides. So again, the eagle also appeared on that shapeshifter card. He is the facilitator for any spiritual exchange, holding that channel of energy for you. If you choose this card, you have spirits and guides wishing to communicate with you. If you choose this card, you have spirits and guides wishing to communicate with you. Let the eagle lead you to them. In my experience, the eagle is a great shapeshifter. He speaks to the heavens and earth almost like a translator for communication between us. The eagle brings determination and confidence, strength and wisdom, a powerful totem for all that are called to work with him. He can help you explore anything you feel you struggle to grasp fully. In many cultures, he is a symbol of hope and salvation. The crystal companion, and I hope I can say this correctly, apophyllite, Apophlite. I haven't seen one. This one is not a very common one. But yes, that is the beautiful story associated with the eagle. Then the last creature I'm going to speak to in the series, this particular episode, I think I'm going to have to make a part 3 because I still have a bunch of other cards that are fairly common, either come through as dream symbols or, you see them and you relate. The last one is the honeybee. And this is the picture of the honeybee. And the honeybee symbolizes the divine feminine. And I know of healers that have royal lineage who have the honeybee as a totem or spirit animal. And when you find random bees in your house, which I used to have quite a lot of, still do when summer comes, or lone bees in your garden, it really speaks to the divine feminine, that energy that is within you, and is also a sign from your ancestors. Sometimes what's happening is, if you're doing spiritual work, if you're at the river or the ocean, or you're doing a cleansing, you just see bees or a bee in a place where it shouldn't be. That just tells you that this is a message from your ancestors, using the animals that are around us. That same happens with different animals, birds as well, insects, frogs. For me, it's the praying mantis. I later discovered which was very interesting, that the great god of the koi koi presents as a praying mantis. So I do have koi koi lineage, particularly on my mother's side of the family, and so I always see there's always a green praying mantis in my house at some point in winter, which shouldn't happen, but it happens. The praying mantis isn't in this deck, but I'm just using it as an example of how our guides use animals, creatures, insects as signs to reach out to us and get our attention, because you say, but that shouldn't be there. But that's exactly what happens. So the honeybee is about the divine feminine. The elements are air and earth because it can fly. And the meaning is that you are being called to rise. When I first asked the honeybee to sit with me, it showed me a beautiful pink rose, the symbol of the divine feminine. The bee was insistent that the rose be featured on the card, and this is by the creator of the deck, or one of the creators of the deck. The rose works with the honeybee to activate your heart gently. So pink is one of the colors that you use when you're doing heart chakra work for healing. The rose works with the honeybee to activate your heart gently, to let the energetics of the bee's honey into your heart, to coat it with the love you need. So you'll find in the Bible, in the book of the Song of Solomon or Song of Songs, it talks about, honey and being fed honey. Canaan is known as the land of milk and honey. So even in the ancient world, the importance of honey and its healing properties was very well understood. The honeybee moves from flower to flower, passing on its healing messages, a messenger of the plant world, leaving trails of light where it flies. They are so important in our ecosystems for so much more than we understand in the physical earthly sense. The honeybee and relatives hold subtle vibrations by creating channels of energy for light to move through. They work closely with the elemental realms to bring the light onto our planet. They weave it through the webs around our land. If you pull this card, you are asked to look at all the ways you let light into yourself, your heart, your space. Shine a light on all you see. Sending healing light is powerful and can be done by simply holding the person or place you want to heal in pure light. There is a multitude of higher vibration light hitting the earth that you can welcome in. The great wave of light that comes to each from 2020 onwards brings strength and embodiment, alignment and empowerment. Welcome its light in the grand central sun, Helios, to shine down on you today. Let Mary Magdalene guide that light into the pink rose that is your heart. Crystal companions, bumblebee jasper, rose quartz, and ruby. Rose quartz is very good, particularly for healing trauma. It works with the heart chakra. So if you have been sexually abused, it's a very good healing stone to wear as on a bracelet, as a pendant, or wherever. I have seen yoni eggs made of rose quartz. So if you're healing sexual trauma, you can insert a yoni egg into your vagina. The yoni egg helps tighten the vagina because the weight forces your muscles to hold it. So it helps to tighten the vagina, particularly after childbirth, but it's also good for healing your sacral chakra and your heart if you have experienced any kind of sexual trauma. So that's rose quartz. It works with the energy and the vibration of the honeybee, which symbolizes the divine feminine. So the association with the heart chakra and the rose quartz is very much in order. I think it's important for us to draw attention to the fact that bee populations across the world are under threat. We in South Africa actually export honeybees by the ton, by tons and crate loads to America to populate, or to trying to find the right word to fertilize the almond fields, the almond plantation. All the bees in America have literally died. So for them to keep the almonds harvest going and the almond industry going, they actually import bees from South Africa. And that's how they are managing to make sure that the almond trees are pollinated in order for them to bear the fruit and produce the almonds. Interestingly, I think we actually import almonds. So we're exporting bees and we're importing almonds. It's a little bit of like how we export other raw materials like metals, and then we import the jewelry or the machinery that it's made from. But that is a trade imbalance discussion that is probably better on another forum. But thank you so much for watching. I know the video has been a little bit longer than I planned, but time flies when you're having fun. I hope you have, pleasant morning, day, evening, whatever time it is you get to watch this video. Please do watch the first video uh, so that you get, an idea of what is coming. I will do a third one because I think it's important that we go through the birds as well as some of the other animals that we see in Africa. Quite a lot of people struggle with dream interpretation, so I hope that these videos will also help set you up in terms of understanding your dreams and the messages of your dreams. Remember, with your intuition, everyone has intuition. It's not just for the spiritually gifted or those called to be healers. We all have intuition. We just need to sit with ourselves, sit in nature, meditate, and learn to tap into it, and we will get the answers we need. If you do want a personal reading, do go to the description box and you'll get my details. Even on some of my other videos, my details are there. And I'd like to thank you for liking, for sharing, for subscribing, and really appreciate you watching and engaging. And I hope you have a pleasant evening or a pleasant rest of your day. Thanks for watching.